Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to the Chaos Terminal for episode 3 of How to Play Lego Fortnite. This footage was all recorded before the Ninjago update, so if you haven't seen episode 2.5 and you're confused as to why you are not where you left off, go check that video out and come back here. But for now, last time we left off at our Star Wars cave. We just stepped outside, saw that beautiful view here of the Lost Isles. Absolutely, probably my best spawn location for those two islands. So yeah, over, you can see I marked there is a bus station. That'll let you fast travel off of Star Wars Island. And then just to the left of where we're now looking and the right of where we were before, this is your Star Wars village. And the village is always going to spawn in the same place relative to your Star Wars cave, but not in the same place relative to your bus station. So I would use the cave to try to find a high point and then look around until you find this spot here. Takbara, she's going to unlock you these macro binoculars so that you don't have to keep searching for things anymore. You'll just use these to find important Star Wars locations like bad guys, your cave, your Star Wars village, etc., etc. And this area is pretty easy to deal with. You're going to want to clear this area, you're going to want to follow her steps, defeat the enemies she wants you to, and then you'll have your Star Wars village leveled up. But I'll leave that spoiler free for you, and we will head back to our cave and head back to our main village to continue the tutorial. Episode, we're mostly going to be focusing on crafting benches, using up a lot of those resources we found in the past 2.5 episodes. Made it through the end of our Star Wars cave. You're going to head right back to your Storm Survivor camp. You've got it marked on your map as that purple pentagon shape. And here, what we are going to do is start our crafting benches. So this is your main crafting bench. You've got all of your tools, your weapons, you've got charms, you've got other items that you're able to make. Right now, the Ninjago stuff is all going to be better than most of that, so I would just use what you have. But we're going to want to start placing a lot of these other crafting benches around because we're going to need basically one of each in order to get going. So the recycler is very useful for breaking down items. And I know they just did a patch on the recycler, so the more durability left on your item, the more resources you'll get back, up to 100%. HUDs, planks, and granite slabs are all going to be very useful at this point. Next, let's throw down the grill. That'll be for making food, obviously. And then we're going to also throw down the potions cauldron for making health potions and such. Next up, I grabbed the hero station because I really like using the hero weapons. This is from the Expeditions update. And that works just like so. Same with this bench here. This is that you've unlocked from Star Wars. This will let you make stuff. I hardly ever use this crafting bench. It's just neat to have in your village. Next crafting bench is super useful. It's the spinning wheel. This will help you make grapplers, balloons, a whole bunch of stuff. It seems so long ago that we had to look for that dragon. There it goes. That's the last we'll see of it since the Ninjago update's here now. Anyway, we'll go back to placing our spinning wheel. Place it right there. And get started on some cord. Cord is super useful early game. And then the fish processor, you can put that with your food if you want. Unless you plan on fighting a lot of bears or doing a lot of fishing, it's not as useful. This is, though, going over to your hero station and starting to make these weapons. And this, in particular, the Warp Rider, is going to allow you to double jump. Now, you might have to go into your Mastery tab and pay for some of these with Essence, but that's super easy. You get Essence from doing basically anything in the game. But I highly recommend getting that early game Warp Rider. It'll let you double jump. We're going to need just a few more resources in order to unlock that. So the resource we need is called a shell, and that comes from a roller, which is one of my least favorite enemies, but we'll go fine. It's not any of these minifigures, it's an actual little brick-built guy. Here we go. And I would just kind of do jump attacks and dodge on them. You definitely don't want to get hit by their roll. But there we go. We unlocked Party Totem and probably a few other things. Take that shell back to here, and we're going to go ahead and just make our Warp Rider. There we go. And add a Wolf Claw to that and that shell. The Warp Rider craft. You're just going to head into your inventory, equip it, and now we can double jump. There we go. Double jump is real useful. You still take fall damage though if you don't have the Spinjitzu scroll instead. Remember in episode 2.5, the Spinjitzu scroll is also going to let you do that spin attack and not take fall damage, so if you're wanting to go to Ninjago Island and do that, it would be way worth it. Alright, now that we have pretty much all of our early game crafting benches set up, we're going to throw our resources into this chest. Remember, any chests in your village square, you can auto-draw the resources from as long as they have that little check mark. But now I want you to turn your cord into drawstring by just refeeding it back through the spinning wheel and mix it up with probably some wolf claw. There we go, and we'll make ourselves a crossbow on the crafting bench and a pair of double daggers. I also want to make a spear, so we just need a couple more of the wooden rod. Eventually we'll use stronger materials, but for now this will help keep us safe. There we go, and let's just equip each one of these by moving them into our hotbar. Your hotbar is going to look different than this hotbar. It's been updated to have more slots available. There we go, and you'll notice they all have a little bit of a glow around them. When you craft a weapon or a tool with a wolf claw, or, you know, other resources will give you other perks, but the wolf claw specifically gives you a boost to your jump and your sprint when you use them. So, if you're wondering what I'm looking through here, this is just your mastery tab, your different weapons, your Ninjago elements will be in there too. But with that, you are pretty much ready to move on to the next episode of How to Play LEGO Fortnite. So far, we've covered how to start a new world, how to explore around and gather resources in order to make the early game crafting benches and craft some new weapons. We've also looked at Star Wars Island and Ninjago Island. And then next time we are going to go cave diving. So make sure you have your weapons, make sure you've got a bed back at your village, and we're going to get going on it. I want to thank you so much for making it this far into the video, for liking and subscribing, and if you've learned anything in our series so far, let me know in a comment down below. It means a lot to us. Of course, we will catch up with you next time. Enjoy playing the Ninjago update as much as you can. I've been trying to leave it mostly spoiler-free for you, although I'm sure you've seen plenty of other YouTubers covering it. Alright, so this is the cave we're going to enter. We'll meet you there in the next episode. Bye!